Hey, I'm back with another awesome unboxing video, and today we have something very exciting. And that, of course, is the Jakks Pacific Sonic the Hedgehog Christmas Advent Calendar. So, yeah, I guess it is Christmas in July over here on the channel, because this just randomly went up on Amazon a day ago, and I ordered it, and here it is. This is the official Sonic the Hedgehog Jakks Advent Calendar, meaning there are 24 surprises to get, and every single day leading up to Christmas you open a box and get a neat little figure or accessory. And as fun as that sounds, I don't think we'll be doing that. I really want to get the new figures that are in this pack that aren't out individually yet, including these exclusive variants of Knuckles, and then you probably saw them on the front, Sonic and Tails as well. But I think to make sure the video doesn't go too long, we might just take a look at the new figures here first, and then do a separate video showing the Christmas variants. So without further ado, let's get this started! Okay, wow, so this is the Advent Calendar. As you can see, there are 24 different little, I guess, cubbies that you open up, and each one has a new thing. So unfortunately, we're not going to be following these rules, and we're going to open them anyway. So, give me a second, I'm going to open all of these, and I will pick out the brand new figures in this Advent Calendar. Alright, I'm back, and here are all the brand new figures in this Advent Calendar. But, of course, we are not talking about these guys today. We're going to be focusing on these four. So, we're starting off with classic Dr. Eggman. Now, as you can see, he's pretty much almost identical to the 4-inch version, just with less articulation. As you can see, he can only move his arms, and his legs go back and forth. Very tight joints down there. And his head can go all the way around, actually. I actually really like this figure. I think what I do like the most is the, just the paint applications on this little guy is pretty good for his size. Of course, I don't really care much for him because he is a 2.5 scale version of a character that doesn't really scale with the other classics, because I mean, you put him by Sonic here and they're practically the same height. He's a little taller, which is still nice, but you know, not much to say about this guy. Just wanted to mention that I have him now, even though in my last review I didn't say I was really gonna get him, but here he is with Knuckles. They both came out in the same wave, and he's not that bad. I'll probably just keep him off to the side, not my main collection, but still really glad to have them. And now we're getting on to the better characters. Let's start with Ray, the flying squirrel. Now, Ray is a character that everyone's really been anticipating. I've been anticipating, because everyone was wondering, how are they going to do his squirrel arm flap thingies? Because he's a flying squirrel, you know? He uses his little arm flap things to fly. Well, as you can see, this is how Jakks went about it. They are just these little tiny, really tiny little thin plastic things that kind of go on his arms. Now, it's not great. It could have been better. But for what they could do, I think it's fine. I am just very excited because this is the first fully articulated Ray the Flying Squirrel action figure ever made. So I am totally stoked about him. Not to mention the fact that this actually is the figure we need to complete our Sonic Mania, well, what could you say, playable roster, I guess? You know, you got Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Mighty, and now Ray. And he's not even that bad looking. People say he's kind of weird looking. Okay, maybe I can kind of see that. I think the pupils are really big. They could have been downsized a bit, maybe brought more closer in between. Like, he looks a little wall-eyed. I won't lie. But other than that, I am very happy to have him, especially a little early, because this wave's not supposed to come out for a while, at least his individual release. So I'm glad that he's in this Advent Calendar, and I think he's totally worth it. Now we're moving on to another figure who doesn't really have a wave release, but I know he's supposed to be in the checkout lane waves at some point. But luckily, he is in this Advent Calendar. We are talking about the Badnik Chomper. So this is Chomper. He is Fish Badnik from the original Sonic games. Now, as for design, I think he looks really good. It's a very simple Badnik, but I am so happy that we're getting so many different Badniks. Like, we can fill up our Eggman armies with these guys. But as you can see, I've been playing around with it. He has an articulated mouth. You can open his jaw just a little bit. I don't know if the stand gets in the way. Yeah, no, that's That's all it does. But also his fin is somehow like a play feature, because if you move his fin, it kind of moves his mouth. I wouldn't call it much of a play feature, but it's just, you know, it's kind of fun. His tail also articulated. You can make him look like he's swimming, I guess. But still really glad to have another Badnik. He looks fantastic. Now I'm going to show you the figure that I've been very, very excited for ever since this advent calendar was first announced, I guess. And that is, of course, Jakks' 2.5-inch classic metal Sonic figure. So first off, all I can really say is, this looks way better than Jazzwares. I mean, honestly. Jazzwares really got a good sculpt, but the articulation and the paint apps was not good. I have a Jazzwares one. I'll show them off later, but I think this guy really knocks it out of the park in terms of sculpt. Paint application is very nice. I think the pose, even the pose hands are pretty nice. It seems very Metal Sonic-esque, a little threatening, if you will. I like the eye printing, looks very, very clean, and doesn't look that messy. It might look a little wall-eyed, but maybe that's just mine. Probably varies. Other than that, it's great. You know, articulation, you can just move his arms and legs and head. Not too complicated. Although none of his elbows or knees bend at all. You just stiff like this, so that's not too bad. No rotation in the feet. It's a 2.5-inch figure. You got 5 points of articulation. That's pretty much all you're going to get from these guys. I think my only complaint about this one is his shade of blue is a little too light, I think. It's pretty much on par with Sonic. As you can see, it's the same exact shade of blue, which is not that bad, but I would have liked it to be a little darker, or a different shade of blue, to make him look a little different from Sonic. I don't mind that much. This guy looks awesome. Everything about him is awesome. This is one of the best classic Metal Sonic figures we've gotten in a long time. Even though, when's the last one we got? Tomy? Yeah, that one doesn't really look that great compared to this guy. So I think that's all I really got to say about this guy, and really all I got to say about the other one. So now we go to something that I wanted to see, which is the height-size comparison, which means we'll finally be reuniting the entire classic character lineup so far. Let's go! So here we have all 4 of our brand new figures standing right next to each other. As you can see, Robotnik is way too small for any of these guys, so let's just not count them right now. And let's focus on these 3. So first off, here is Mighty and Ray. As you can see, Ray is very much shorter than Mighty, which is perfect. And now here's Sonic, Ray, and Mighty, which is a clear reference to Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, the old arcade game with these 3. And now we have the complete Sonic Mania roster, featuring Team Sonic and Mighty and Ray. Once again, surprisingly I was able to fit them in frame. Here is the entire set of our classic roster. Now, not counting Eggman, of course. Speaking of Eggman, here he is with classic Metal Sonic, and they look really, really good together. Can't say the same about the 2.5-inch version. And here is Jazzwares classic Metal Sonic, and here is Jakks' classic Metal Sonic. Of course, I gotta also mention I custom painted this one a little bit, so it looks a little better than it actually is. But this guy just all around looks better to me, I would say. And now here is the nice little cast of Dr. Eggman's classic style of Badniks and robots. And lastly, here is classic Metal Sonic with modern Metal Sonic. So finally we have it. The entire collection of Jakks Pacific's classic Sonic the Hedgehog figures. I gotta say, I am completely in awe that in about 3 years we have pretty much the entire main character selection here. So I guess the main question is now, where do we go from here? I mean, this is just the entire main roster. You got everyone here. Mighty and Ray, like, they're here. They're actually included. That's pretty insane. So where I think they should go is definitely with Team Hooligan, which are classic characters technically, but they don't have any figures. I could definitely see them making it. So, let's be hopeful. I think it could definitely be done. Of course, there's also many different forms of these characters, probably the super forms, as well as maybe other expressions or poses, and tons of Badniks they could still make. So I can see the classic line still going on for a while. And not to mention, we still don't have a lot of these characters in the 4-inch line, but I am very grateful that they're all done in the 2.5-inch scale. And I guess that really wraps up my thoughts on these guys. it just feels so great to finally have them all right here in front of me, and I just hope they give us characters that we don't expect now. So I think this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time.